degrees. They call it the big time. Got your name in lights. Now you're gonna shine. Got them in your sights.
Cardinal Baseball Live on Tradio begins now.
Welcome into Cardinal Baseball Live here on Tradio. Fort Worth Christian playing here the second game of the day here on Tradio. But the first for Cardinal Baseball Live, the first of a couple of matchups we have for you here this afternoon. Rusty Greer going to be heard from here in just a moment on our pregame show as we caught up earlier with the head coach of the Fort Worth Christian Cardinals, who are off to a 6-1 start this season. We'll hear from the coach now. Welcome back to Cardinal Baseball Live on Tradio, joined alongside head coach of Fort Worth Christian, Rusty Greer. Coach, your team has won 6 of your first 7 games. What are your thoughts on the start to the season? What do you like, and what do you want your team to improve on as you go into another tournament?
Well, obviously I like the way we've started record-wise. I don't think the record is indicative of where we can be. An early record doesn't tell you where you're going to be at the end, obviously. But the way we're playing right now, we're beginning to see a little momentum on the mound, swinging the bats, timely hitting, that kind of thing. I think our defense has been solid all year. But I think the most impressive thing that we've had from week 1 to last weekend was our pitching staff. We started throwing the ball over the plate a little bit more. And they began to realize that you can't combat walks. And the way you combat hitter is to throw it over the plate and make him get a hit. And so I think they did a really good job last week in doing that. Our offense is coming around. So I like where we're headed, as a total unit and a team.
On the pitching note, when you mentioned the guys realizing needing to get in the zone, was that a big focus after the first week? I know we talked, and you said early on sometimes the pitchers getting into the zone, that could be a difficult thing first time on the hill. So was that a big focus after the first week?
Yes, it was. We went through some numbers with them as far as strike percentages and first strike pitches and outs and just some data with them. And and I'll say this in their defense, our first weekend, because of the weather we had and all the stuff we had to deal with, we had some sickness running through the clubhouse. It was really their first time on the mound in about 10 days or 2 weeks facing live hitters. Now, they've thrown bullpens, but it's not the same. And I think last weekend, them being better overall was kind of 2 factors. One being that they began to realize that the numbers don't lie, data numbers don't lie, and we need to work hard in our pens and our drills and everything we do. But then I do believe that facing those live hitters in live situations, I believe that experience you need, and I think that they'll build on this past weekend going into our tournament games Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Speaking of the games, Coach, and having the opportunity this year has been great early on just for us personally here at Tradio to get to do these games. But for some of the new listeners who maybe realized the games were being broadcast, what would you say to the fans just that don't know much about a Rusty Greer coach team, some of your philosophies, a little bit about this year's group as maybe they join us for the ride, they come see the games in person, but for someone looking to learn about the Cardinals, what would you say to a fan maybe tuning in for the first time right now?
I would say my teams play hard. We run bases. They're on stopwatches. I want them to be aggressive on the bases. I'm not a get thrown out guy. Meaning it doesn't matter to me. I want you running and forcing pressure. And I guess that's the big word. We're offensively, we'll be a pressure team. We obviously have a lineup that can swing the bats a little bit, but you have to be able to take extra bases. You have to be able to steal bases and force action at times. And sometimes you're going to run into outs. But at the end of the day, over the course of time, by applying pressure, I think that is a way to score runs. And then pitching staff-wise, I think that the big thing is philosophically throw it over the plate as we've talked. And our defense is really good. And unless they're just every ball they're hitting is finding a hole, we're going to catch and throw it. And I try to stress to them attention to detail. And I don't mean physically. What I mean about that is when you take care of the small things that people think are non-consequential, all those big things you're trying to accomplish take care of themselves. And non-consequential meaning is my on-deck hitter directing traffic at the plate with a runner coming home? Are we getting down the line and making turns and making decisions as we round the bag, or are we making decisions before we round the bag? That's all the kind of stuff we talk about. And it's the small things that take care of the big things. And I think that we're learning that. It's a learning process, but I think they've bought into it, and you'll continue to see us be super aggressive and battle and not quit.
Final thing, Coach, and thanks so much for that answer. Those 26 stolen bases, I'm sure, go into that aggression through 7 games. But through the early portion of the season, any individuals standing out for you? Any surprises that you've seen from your team? I know you're with them all fall, but when the lights turn on, has anyone shined a little bit that you want to give some love to here right now?
Well, I mean, I think overall our team is pulled together, and they're all pulling in the same direction. I think that obviously the shortstop, he's playing really well. Second baseman's coming around. They're both team captains. Our center fielder's coming around. He's a team captain as well. I think that Kel Bateras had a nice outing the other day. He's earned himself another chance. We didn't get to see Greg Smeds this past weekend, but we expect good things out of him on Thursday. I think the big thing is, for me, I've seen some perseverance from every individual, which when you do your job as an individual and you persevere through adversity as an individual, that can only make your team, the team better, the unit better. And that's what I mean by pulling in the right direction. We try to talk about not having the poor, pitiful me's. And I think that as a group, we do a good job of that. And one hitter feeds off of another hitter, and feeds off another, and one pitcher feeds off of another pitcher. And so when we face adversity and we work through that without the poor, pitiful me's, then that's when you come together as a group. And I think that's what we're seeing. Now, it's an early sample size, but I think that's what we're beginning to see. And as time goes on, you hope that all of that comes together and it's really, really solidified to carry you into a championship.
Coach, thank you, as always, for your time. Best of luck here during these games today. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Will.
Fort Worth Christian School is a Christ-centered college preparatory school where every student is known, loved, and valued. At FWC, students are challenged to pursue excellence in the classroom, in competition, and in their faith, all while being equipped with a strong biblical worldview. From standout academics and championship athletics to award-winning fine arts and a vibrant student community, Fort Worth Christian is preparing tomorrow's leaders today. We invite you to discover the difference for your family. Visit fwc.org to learn more, schedule a personal tour, and experience Fort Worth Christian for yourself.
Thank you so much for joining the game with us today. We hope you are enjoying this presentation of Cardinal Baseball Live on Tradio. We have a target of 20,000 channel subscribers before the end of this spring. We need your help to reach that goal. So please hit the subscribe button and the like button, and pick a friend or family member to whom you can share the game. We are happy you are watching and hope you consider becoming a member for access to different member-only content.
It's Cardinal Baseball Live on Tradio. You just heard from the head coach, Rusty Greer. And getting his thoughts on this matchup alongside Jeff Knipper, I'm Will Cotterly. Really glad you're joining us here today. And we are here at Wylie East High School, home of the Raiders, here for the Raider Invitational. As you see on your screen, the announcers today, Jeff Knipper on color, the former player at South Alabama. I'm Will Cotterly on the play-by-play. Denison, the opponent today for Fort Worth Christian, off to a 6-1 start. And after all of that, Jeff, what are some of your thoughts on what we just heard from head coach Rusty Greer?
Well, I enjoyed hearing Coach Greer talk about their aggressive base running, because that was what I saw a week ago in those tournament games they played out at their home ballpark. Grady Emerson took an extra base on a ball that would have been a single for most guys. Then he tagged up on a ball in short right field from second to go to third. They ran the bases aggressively the whole day. Coach Greer talked about how they put guys on the watch, and meaning, they're clocking their times to first base, making sure they're busting it out of the box. And it's clear that that message has been delivered and has been adopted by the players, because there's no way Emerson would have got to second if he wasn't going hard the whole way on that one ball that I remember. But they run the bases aggressively through the entire lineup. Just looking back at their games that I saw, the leadoff hitter, Carney, he is another aggressive base runner. I believe he stole somewhere around 30 bases last season for the Cardinals, and I look for him to have another good stolen base total. It'll be interesting to see if they run quite as much as they did last year, just because he's got Emerson hitting behind him, so he might not want to run him quite as much with that bat in the 2-hole. But the top of their lineup was really impressive. James in the 3-hole, he's another. He's headed to play college ball, and then Castleberry, I'm anxious to see. He was their cleanup hitter in that first game against Legacy Christian. He actually dove for a ball in that game and hurt his wrist. So I'll be interested to see today. If
he's still out.
He's still out. Okay, I hate to hear that. I was hoping that was just a minor thing and he'd be back. So that's unfortunate. But injuries happen, and in those spots, that's where you ask the next guy to step up. And I'm sure they have a capable replacement. In fact, I believe we saw a freshman in the lineup that game.
Jacob Ward, yeah.
Yeah, Jacob Ward, which was always a surprise when you see a freshman in the lineup at this level, because it's just a big age gap. Most freshmen are going to be 15 years old, and most seniors are going to be 18. And there's a big gap between most 15 and 18-year-olds, at least the ones that aren't named Luke Esquivel.
We just had the pleasure of seeing them. If you're new to Tradio, well, this company has a couple of the rights to great high school baseball programs. Grapevine, we just finished up their game. They took on the host of this Raider Invitational, Wylie East, and they won by 6 runs, a 10-4 final score. And they are, according to Perfect Game, depends who you talk to, but a top 10 team in the country. So pretty good. And then on Tradio, you also have the top individual player in the country in Grady Everson. We're just now getting the ground rules, so we're not going to start on time here. And we'll see what happens with
another point Coach Greer made in your interview with him was the pitching. You know, the opening weekend they had, their pitchers walked more guys than you'd like to see. And they cleaned that up in those 2 games I saw last Thursday. They threw a lot more strikes, and that's exactly what Coach Greer wanted. You know, he wants the opposing offense to have to put that ball in play to get on base, and he talked about his defense. He believes they have a good defense. He wants to give them a chance to make plays when they put the ball in play. We saw Salas pitch last Thursday against Legacy Christian, and he had a really good outing. He went 5 innings, only gave up 1 hit, had 7 strikeouts, and probably the number that Coach Greer liked the best is he only had 2 base on balls in those 5 innings. The reliever in that game, Hall, I remember he was a big velocity change from Salas. Salas was probably an upper 80s fastball, and Hall was more of an off-speed pitcher, but presented a good contrast and a good challenge for the other hitters. And he actually went 2 clean innings, didn't give up a hit or an earned run. And then in the second game that I saw, they played Cornerstone Christian, and their starter, Ridgel, had a little bit of a rough outing, but the relievers that came in behind Ridgel had success. Walsh and Rodriguez, they pitched 2 1/3 innings and held Cornerstone scoreless in those innings. That actually was a tight game that Fort Worth Christian won 5-4. And it looks like, from what I recall, we're going to see a arm on the mound today for the Cardinals that I didn't see last Thursday.
It's the ace, Greg Smeds, getting the start. He did not pitch last week due to, I think, a little bit of some sickness going around the locker room, so he missed his start, but he is certainly the best that the Cardinals have on the hill, the most proven and experienced arm in the lefty. The ace for this staff gets the call here in Game 1 of the weekend. You're going to enjoy watching Smeds. Fills up the zone, works fast, changes speeds, throws strikes, coming off a solid year where he was their best pitcher a year ago. He'll try to build upon that here this season.
Okay, is he a senior? You know what
Yes,
class
sir.
he is? Cool.
Senior.
Okay.
Hey, I do. Keep peppering me with the questions. I think I got you ready on this one.
That is one thing I do recall from the Fort Worth Christian roster is they have 16 seniors on the roster, which is obviously a good recipe for success when you have that much experience, but hard to find a team that has that many seniors on their roster.
It really is. So you've got the Denison Yellow Jackets and the Fort Worth Christian Cardinals. So we are ready for action here from Wylie East. And leading things off, Christian Veers. He's the pitcher and designated hitter. He swings and misses on the first offering from Smeds. Next one foul back. 0-2 count. Yellow Jackets and Cardinals just underway. He's Jeff Knipper. I'm Will Connerly.
Yeah, good swing right there from Veers. Easy to pick out the teams today. Fort Worth Cardinals are in their black jerseys, and Denison's all white.
There's a strike 3. So Smeds doing work for the strikeout again. In his first outing, he went 3 innings. That was on opening weekend against Bishop Lynch, the first game of the season. On February 5th, did not pitch last week. I believe dealing with a little bit of being under the weather. But in that first outing, Jeff, he went 45 pitches. Perhaps we can see him maybe extended a little bit more today. Only allowed 1 hit, no runs, and 3 clean innings of work. And looks like he has the first 2 retired here as Ridgels camped under it for the second out.
You know, just looking at the Cardinals' schedule, this is their 8th game of the season. That's a lot of games to have played this early. So Coach Greer obviously wanted to hit the ground running in February and get out of the gate with a lot of game action early.
So Max Ailman flies out to left. It brings up Mason Patton, the third baseman. Smeds working with Hank Austin. So the left-hander trying to get settled in. One thing, it was very enjoyable talking with head coach Rusty Greer this week, Jeff, and I know when we have the opportunity to have conversations with coaches and leading the teams, it's fun to see how the coach's thoughts on how their team is playing and some background, how that ultimately can affect what we see and the lens through which we see the game, because obviously I don't think anybody has a better pulse on a team than a head coach, and covering the team, not only is it extremely helpful to get his perspective as Smeds delivers the 2-1, it's tipped back with Mason Patton now hitting with a 2-2 count. But the word that jumped out to me was trust. He wants to trust the pitchers to be able to go out there, and they have to kind of earn that trust when they need to go out and throw strikes. And Smeds is certainly someone that has probably the most trust of head coach Rusty Greer. That's lifted towards right, and the side is retired. Jacob Ward is there. 1-2-3 frame for Greg Smeds.
Yeah, good start for the Cardinals there. 1-2-3.
All right, we'll be back next on Tradio. Fort Worth Christian comes up to the plate here in the bottom of the first inning. Griffin Carney, Grady Emerson, Braylon James due up with no score in the bottom of the first. Popped up, giving some chase, and unable to haul that one in is Javi Hernandez, who made chase for it. And it's a foul ball. A lot of room back here. You pointed that out, Jeff, in game one.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, but still not always an easy play, especially with a catcher's mitt, and you got to find that ball, get rid of the helmet, and Just didn't have enough time right there to make it all happen.
Low and out, a ball and a strike.
Veers is a slender right-hander. He's got looks like a low 80s fastball. Pitch right there must have just missed out. Carney thought about it but decided better. Curveball right there for Veers, just hung up above the zone. Carney's not the tallest kid. That'd probably be a strike on me or you, Will, but not on Carney.
And the 3-1 fouled away right side. What a day for baseball, Jeff. You missed school. Guys, I think, are fired up for that. Speaking with both teams, no one's going to say that directly, but I think you have an added element of we're not in math class right now. We're out on the diamond.
Hey, I'm happy not to beat my real job today.
That's grounded to short in time for Griffin Carney to beat out the throw. And the speedster at the top of the Cardinals lineup reaches first.
Yeah, good infield hit right there. Shortstop really didn't have a play. Yeah, we're going to see a replay right there. Carney gets down the line too good.
Well, here he is, Grady Emerson.
Well, I've seen him at Argyle the last 2 seasons, but he's definitely taken his game up a notch since then.
I know it's hard to, in understanding these Cardinal Baseball Live broadcasts, Griffin Carney stealing second. He'll probably steal third. He's taken second and third in the first inning already twice this year.
The 2 games I saw last Thursday, Emerson went 6 for 7 with 3 doubles, started 4 double plays. I mentioned the aggressive base running. There's just not a whole lot more you could have asked of him that day.
Yeah, he's 7 for his last 8 at the plate over the last 3 games. Leads the team with 9 hits, and he's done it in just 17 at-bats, hitting .529. OPS around 1,400, and his on-base percentage above 65%. So a lot of hype for number 2, being billed as the top high school prospect in the country. And he certainly has looked like it through all the time we've seen. And Jeff, you brought it up. It's the well-rounded game, and honestly, sometimes when he just comes up, you don't talk and you let him do the work. It's so much fun to see this outstanding high school senior shortstop play.
Yeah, the scouts have repositioned themselves on the third base line to see Grady hit. They were over here on the first base line for game 1, but got to be nice for them not to have to travel and see 2 of the top high school prospects in one ballpark back-to-back.
Emerson draws a free pass. He's done that a lot this year as well. Another walk drawn. He has not got a ton of pitches to hit at times, despite leading the team with 9 hits. That's his 7th walk drawn on the year. We are in game number 8, so nearly getting a walk per game, getting about a hit per game. He had that memorable day at the doubleheader over at Ket Corton Field that you're talking about last week. And here comes a guy, player of the game last game. Talked to him after the game, Braylon James. He delivered the go-ahead RBI that scored Grady Emerson. And the interesting component of that is it was in a tie game, runner on second, 3-0 count. He came up swinging, and he said, quote, "I knew I was getting a barrel," and he got the run in.
Nice. He's going to be hitting with guys on base all season because, yeah, there's going to be teams pitching around Emerson. You can tell Carney's he's a high on-base percentage guy. So James is going to have a ton of RBI opportunities, and I believe he's going to play college ball. He's got a good swing. I look for him to drive in a lot of runs this year for the Cardinals.
Yes, James. He's got a nice swing from the left side, kind of breaks up what you have. You've got Emerson, who can really just, I mean, the superlatives are going to be endless. But with James and this length of this lineup and Parkerson, who's waiting on deck, they've got a lot of impressive bats. And they're going to try to jump ahead here, ahead by a couple, hopefully, because they've got 2 on the base paths. The first 2 reaching in the bottom of the first inning. Rusty Greer, you mentioned it, aggression. That was one thing he said about that describes his teams, and that doesn't just mean on the base paths. I think at the plate we've seen a lot of 3-0, 3-0 green lights. Here's a 3-1 pitch upcoming.
Yeah, I saw at least one 3-0 hit the game I was at, and I'm sure James has a green light here, 3-1. He took a 2-0 fastball that looked like a pretty good pitch. I have a feeling if he sees it again, he won't take it this time.
So James, as you mentioned, going to play in college at Snead State. Runners are off. Throw down to third. Carney is caught. Nope, doesn't matter.
Base on balls.
Because it's ball 4. He would have been caught.
He was, yeah. They would have had him.
It's a free advancement with the walk. So, yes, they are. I've noticed that the things of an aggressive team, you run the bases hard. That's the stolen bases is one of it, but not just stolen bases. Ground balls through the right, taking the extra base running. They do that. They swing 3-0 a lot. They do a lot of those aggressive things, but the other thing is they've drawn so many walks this year. They go up there and they're not trying to do too much at times, and it's helped. And Jake Parkerson now up to the plate, another college commit for this team. They have a lot of commitments on this team. Grady Emerson going to Texas, or signed to Texas.
Maybe.
Despite probably being one of the first selections in the draft this year, you've got the man at the plate, Jake Parkerson, North Central Texas College. And then Braylon James, Snead State. He's got his brother on this team as well, as that's popped up. Another chance for the catcher, Javi Hernandez. Well, called off by the pitcher, and it's caught by Christian Veers.
Yeah, that I think infield pop-up right there, infield fly was the call by the umpire.
There you go, runners on first and second with less than 2 outs or bases loaded. Trey Bell, I'll tell you, when I do games with him, he always will point that out to me before the at-bat and tell us infield fly in effect. He was a former umpire, so he's all over the rule book. But right there, they still make the grab. So
yeah, don't tell him I said this, but he knows the rule book a lot better than I do.
Oh, really? You know, he goes back and reviews the broadcasts, so I'm sure he'll hear what you have to say. Here's Hank Austin, another college commit. He's going to Sul Ross State, the Lone Star Conference.
Well, back to the point you made earlier about the Cardinals being aggressive, but at the plate still getting strikes to hit. That's what Rusty Greer did with the Rangers. You know, I mean, he was a career 300 hitter, but I bet his on-base percentage was pushing 400 because he would take a walk if you didn't throw him strikes. And he's obviously taught his players a similar approach at the plate. You know, be aggressive when you get a strike, but don't swing at bad pitches.
Not many teams can have a MLB vet coach him in high school. Swing and a miss. Wow.
Well, what I did a little website research on the Cardinals and realized that their first base coach, Curtis Wilkerson's also a former major leaguer and former Ranger.
Correct.
He finished his career with the Rangers before I moved here in '93, so I don't remember his time much with the Rangers, but he was I believe a utility player for about 10 seasons in the major leagues. So how many high school teams can say they've got 2 major leaguers on the coaching staff?
I don't think so. And then the caliber, I mean, I think if you get to the show in any regard, it's great. But then when you look at like sustained, like caliber, like Rusty Greer that you mentioned his stats, like he's a Hall of Famer for the Texas Rangers. That is lifted right side. Here's Blaine McDonald. He had a really nice outing on the hill the other day. A guy that really threw the ball well. I mean, he came in and shut things down. We'll see, though, what he can do with the bat in his hands. I figure that we're going to see him on the mound at one point or another in relief throughout this weekend, just based on how well he threw. That's
well
ripped.
hit. Yeah,
wow, McDonald. One hops off the wall. Emerson is across to score. And here comes a third run. Emerson, Carney, and James all score on a 3 RBI double from Blaine McDonald.
But you want to be strong, and they're strong in their legs.
Well, that'll retire the side here. But not before Blaine McDonald. We are talking about what he can do on the mound. Well, he showcases what he can do in the box as well. He drives in 3 on an RBI double to clear the bases. Cardinals up by 3 after an inning of action here on Tradio. We are back to action here on Cardinal Baseball Live on Tradio. So it's Cardinal Baseball. We're live, and we are on Tradio, and we're starting the second inning, and it's grounded to third. On to first. Handled well, and the man who started the scoring in this game starts that 5-3 ground out, Blaine McDonald. What a really nice, well-rounded effort he has had. We talked about his efforts on the hill. And then he comes through with a 3 RBI double to clear the base paths. And then comes out the next inning and handles the grounder his way. So showcasing his ability in every aspect of the game. And second outing of the year for the Cardinals ace, the left-hander, Greg Smeds. You know what? I was doing the first game. He towed the rubber with Trey Bell. And first game that we've ever done on Cardinal Baseball Live, and we made a massive, massive mistake. And first few references to the outstanding lefty was messing up his name. And Trey was all over it initially. He said, no, it's Smeds. And I wasn't sure. We ultimately got confirmation that it was. And so there was big apologies to him and his family for getting that wrong. But that's weeks ago. We're on to Cardinal Baseball Live now, but I thought I'd share that story with you, Jeff, about the outstanding left-hander who's had a solid outing thus far as he works here in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, I appreciate the heads up, Will. Smeds is what I'll go with.
Oh, no, it's correct. It's all confirmed now. I initially was going with Smedes on a couple of the first references, but then the great people at Fort Worth Christian helped me out because we want to be correct with everything we do. So felt really bad about that, but yeah, Mr. Greg Smeds will now have to try to work around a base runner. Here in a 3-0 ball game Thanks to Blaine McDonald coming through with a 3 RBI bases clearing double. But yes, the heads up on the names, they can be tricky sometimes. And you just hate when you get them wrong. You never mean to, but it can happen from time to time for a multitude of reasons that we don't really need to get into.
Well, I thought what's really helpful is I got a copy of Fort Worth Christian's roster, and the names that have any doubt on how to pronounce them.
Shout out to Rusty Greer for that.
Have the spelling out of the pronunciation
guide,
which is much appreciated when you're broadcasting games.
Emerson will turn it himself on to first in time. And yes, that is 3 down. We go to the bottom, another double play, turned by the shortstop as he steps on the bag and fires it over on Tradio. Here at Wylie East. It's the Raiders Invitational. And Andrew Ridgel leading things off. Cardinals with a 3-0 lead here over Denison. They score 3 in the bottom of the first after it was loaded up for Blaine McDonald, and he did a nice job to clear the bases.
I noticed there on our broadcast they had him listed as a first baseman, right-handed pitcher, but he's in left field today, and I believe I saw him play outfield when I was at Fort Worth Christian last weekend. So a lot of versatility.
It's lifted towards center. And Cannon can't get there. It 2 hops to the wall, and Ridgel digging for third. And he'll dive in. Head first, Andrew Ridgel. Versatile in the field, but he gets the job done. It's a triple for Andrew Ridgel.
Boy, that ball just kept drifting away from the center fielder, and I don't know if he misplayed it or the wind just pushed it farther than he thought it was going to be. There we go. Good replay right there.
This brings Jacob Ward up to the plate. So Ridgel triples, 3-0 score. Infield now comes in. Ward is the 9th place hitter in the order. And so trying to work around these troubles is the starter, Christian Veers, the 5'11", 170-pound junior. As he kicks and delivers, it's outside. So Jacob Ward getting some opportunities out in right field. You'd expect, though, that the UT Arlington commit Jackson Castleberry, when he comes back, will slot back into that spot. But the freshman, Jacob Ward, in his place right now with Castleberry a little bit banged up, and Jacob Ward so far on the year does have one hit in 7 at-bats, some limited opportunities, more coming as of late. He draws a walk.
Yeah, it looked like they were pitching around him almost, which is hard to believe as the number 9 hitter, but the pitcher was missing outside with everything. They're going to back up in the middle and play for 2 in the middle, probably stay in on the corners and try and cut that run down.
So that brings up Griffin Carney. No, it said Braylon James, but this is indeed Griffin Carney.
Yeah.
Up at the plate, the leadoff man for Fort Worth Christian with runners on the corners. And Carney watching it. He legged out an infield single last time up. Yellow Jackets led by Brent Bollinger, 0-1. They're a 5A squad.
Looked like Ward might be running over there at first base. He actually broke early before that first pitch, but realized the pitcher had not made a move yet to the plate and put on the brakes and got back. Not going.
Carney looked like he recognized some spin, but he recognized it late. And sometimes that can happen. You can be tardy even though it's a breaker. That's what appeared to be the case there, Jeff.
Yeah, it was up around his letters. Sometimes he did get caught right here.
Run down. Could it produce a run, though? Trying to manufacture the run down. Cardinals breaking for the play, and in there is the Cardinals as they fire another run. They sacrifice on the out, but it's Andrew Ridgel who slides home safely. This was a close play. So Ward gets in the rundown, and Carney gets home. Another look there. Oh, the ball came out.
That's what I was going to say. The ball beat him there, and I thought it was going to be an out, but the catcher couldn't hold on to the ball. But, Coach Greer talked about that in his interview. He's like, sometimes we're going to run into an out, but we're going to be aggressive, and we're going to put pressure on him, and that's what he did right there, and it produced another run.
Yeah, with first and third, you see so many teams try to find ways. If you can't execute at the plate, can you execute? Can you get into a rundown long enough to score a run? Leadoff triple followed by a walk. It does manufacture a run because they get into a rundown. And we've seen that already a lot this year. That's just going to be the identity of this team. So,
and honestly, Denison did a fairer job executing the rundown, getting the out, but it requires a couple things to get that out at the plate. It requires a good throw, which they got that part right, but then you got to make the tag, and that's where they didn't close the deal right there with the tag.
Running into outs, I think you'll live with that, right? If there's a lot of different ways, but if you can continue to be aggressive, and the man on the base paths now, Griffin Carney, as aggressive as it gets. He has 2 hits now today, one an infield single, that one through the 5-6 hole on the left side to get him aboard for a second time in as many innings. It's a 4-0 advantage here for Grady Emerson. He walked his first time up.
Yeah, I mean, the phrase running into outs sounds bad, but let's say running into bang-bang plays, especially when it's a tag situation. I think the outs in that situation are acceptable. If it's a forced play, that's a different story. It's much easier to execute on a forced play versus a tag situation right there.
And I do like the aggressive nature because then if you are out, I mean, you have that blessing from the coaching staff because that's just been the mentality. Emerson swings through that, nods his head.
Yeah, you've got to run on instinct. If you wait on the coach to tell you what to do, usually it's too late to go. So they know that, hey, if it's the situation's right, we'll take a chance and try and take that extra base. Even though occasionally, it might produce an out, we're doing it in the long term, it's going to be productive.
Emerson walked and scored in his first plate appearance. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Went fishing for the last offering. That was a little bit low. With the open stance, swings it from the left side. A smooth stroke, and we'll see if he gets something to hit on the 1-1. It's outside, and well, as expected, Griffin Carney takes another bag. He swiped 2 today, and I'm interested, Jeff, to see how many he'll be able to get this year, because for Griffin Carney, he already has 9 stolen bases.
Wow.
It just goes back to what we were talking about with the aggression. 9 swiped bags already.
Yeah, better than 1 a game.
That's low. Emerson patient at the plate. And I think when in the nature of 3-0s, the word will get out that this is a Cardinal team that's aggressive, and sometimes that's when you get served up something. And I would love to see perhaps Emerson uncork something on a 3-1. We'll see if he gets something to hit. He does go swinging, and that'll be foul and out of play. So a full count offering upcoming here to not out of play. It drops in play, but nobody gathers it as Patton gave it chase. But a 3-1, or to now a 3-2 full count for Emerson.
Yeah, just like behind the plate, there's a lot of foul territory down the line, but nobody could get there. Real tough play for the third baseman with his back turned to the ball, and just too far for that left fielder to run it down. So Emerson gets another crack at 3-2 right here.
Full count here to Grady. And he goes backside. That'll roll for extra bases. Griffin Carney comes across to score. Grady Emerson digging for third, and he has another triple. He goes backside with a full count with an RBI to extend the lead, and it's all Cardinals here in the bottom of the second.
That's what I've noticed. He does a great job going with pitches like that and hitting the ball the other way. And then, again, just hustling out of the box and a triple right there. He really gets around the bags well, but you got to run hard the whole way to make it happen.
The stopwatch is out, seeing his speed around the base paths. Another triple for Grady Emerson. And James hits it right at the second baseman. Dax Doty's there to make the grab. And there's 2 outs. So he triples. It was funny you worked the game the other day where Grady had a triple, and he had pretty much everything that day, just a home run shy of the cycle.
That's right.
And that 6-for-7 memorable day, and I'm sure we'll have many more of those for the outstanding prospect. But the next day I saw the buddy you worked with, Michael Dixon. He asked me, saying, so what did Grady do the next game I did? And told him, well, he got aboard all 3 times, went 1 for 1. And he just was really speechless after what he saw from him in person, and kind of interested and invested in his performance. I mean, full count pitch, triple, he goes backside. That is kind of the report on his ability, as he uses the whole field and projects to hit for a really high average. That one hits off the concrete and goes right back to the catcher, Javi Hernandez, not allowing Emerson to score. But it was a full count pitch on the outer half, and off the bat, I just thought, okay, maybe a routine single, but it picked up some pace on this artificial surface and rolled all the way to the wall.
Yeah, he's a very polished player. Really makes it look easy out there, just smooth, and obviously got great talent, but has worked at his craft also.
Swing and a miss there by Parkerson, side retired, but not before a Grady Emerson RBI triple extends the lead. We go to inning number 3. It's Cardinal Baseball Live on Tradio.
I am Jesse Hagan, and TNS Products is proud to support Cardinal Athletics. We have provided paper and composite tubes, cores, and cans, edge wrap, and other packaging materials to over 10,000 customers for almost 40 years. My wife Charlie and I, and our girls Lauren, Peyton, and Kaylee are proud to be FWC Cardinals.
Draftline Sports Management is taking recruiting and NIL to the next level. With over 50 plus years of experience and athlete representation, we set the standard for maximizing value and creating opportunities. Draftline Sports Management is where the future signs first.
My name is Jason Weber, and our companies, JWC General Contractors and 88's Disaster Restoration, are proud corporate sponsors of Fort Worth Christian. My wife Jamie and our son Aiden and I love being a part of the Cardinal family. We believe in the mission and vision of FWC, and we know how important it is to support the Cardinal experience. JWC provides exceptional residential and commercial roofing, while ADH offers comprehensive disaster restoration. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly about how we can serve you. From our family to yours, go Cards!
Cardinal Baseball Live here on Tradio. A 5-0 score. More support for Smeds after an Emerson RBI triple. Tim Polster is running the show today. Trey Bell on a camera. Jeff Knipper with us, but had to go move his car in between innings as they made an announcement. For those in a painted parking spot, they had to move, and, well, he occupied one of those. Hernandez up at the plate. Smeds, through a pair of innings, has faced the minimum. A miss is low there to Javi Hernandez. It was strikeout and a pair of flyouts in the first, a ground out walk and then double play in the second. But a 3-0 count to the Denison catcher now here in the third. Called a strike. And that's ball 4. Brings up Oliver Kincannon. Takes for a strike. An 0-2 count here to the Yellow Jackets center fielder after the leadoff walk. Misses. You got Austin behind the plate, McDonald and Emerson on the left side of the infield, Carney and Andujar on the right side, with Ridgel, James, and Ward out in the outfield. Swing and a miss, another strikeout. Greg Smeds gets Kincannon to go chasing above the zone. And there's one out. Here's Dex Doty, the second baseman, as we're live here from Wylie East High School. A ball and a strike. Cardinals 6 wins, 1 loss to begin the year. And Smeds fires that in for a strike as well. It'll be the Heritage Coyotes coming up with a start time of 2:30. As that is lifted. And gathering there is Blaine McDonald. Doty pops out. So that flips the lineup card back to the top. Christian Vierce now hits for a second time. And Smeds delivering. He misfires inside. Vierce struck out looking. His first time to the plate. Another strike. Change in runner now for the Yellow Jackets. Over at first base. Grounded right side, it's through. And the new runner in Aiden Wolf will go from first to second. And so runners on first and second. 2 down in the top of the third inning. And so it's the first time the Yellow Jackets with a hit today. And it extends the inning here in the third, bringing up Max Ailman. Flew out to left his first time up. 2 out, 2 on. And Jeff Knipper back on the headset after having to move his vehicle. That's lifted towards center. Braylon James back on it, and the side is retired. 2 stranded for the Yellow Jackets. We'll hear from Jeff Knipper. He's back. How was the car move? Find out next. So the first of a doubleheader for Fort Worth Christian. They're up 5-0. Bottom of inning number 3. It's Hank Austin, the senior catcher, struck out swinging in his first trip to the plate. As the first one is in for a strike, it's Christian Vierce working in his third frame of work. It'll be Frisco Heritage coming up in the next game. Denison, the opponent right now, swinging a miss. 0-2 count here to Hank Austin.
Yeah, Will, thanks for carrying us through that last half inning. I got to stretch my legs and go move my truck. I couldn't find anywhere to park this morning, so I parked in a painted spot, which anyone who has a kid in high school around here knows that's a senior spot. But that senior wasn't here at 9:30 when I got here, so I figured it was safe. But better safe than sorry in getting my truck towed, so moved to a non-painted spot. Not something you have to worry about that often when you're broadcasting a game, is it?
No, because typically you're talking nighttime, weekends. And so you get morning, afternoon baseball on a weekday. You got to think about the school aspect of it. Swing and a miss by Austin. He's been down twice on strikeouts, but not something you have to think about all that often. But Jeff Knipper, he had two today and had to move the car. Did you get a good spot, though, in return, or were you a little further?
I advanced about 50 yards. So.
In positive direction.
Yes.
So it was well worth the move. I had to do it last inning, and I know the fans, they were blowing up the YouTube chat wondering, where's Jeff Knipper? They were just frustrated that you'd be gone for a half inning.
Well,
they couldn't believe it.
Maybe one or two out there that might know my name.
Well, I think people should know the name of Blaine McDonald. He's done a great job today. Man, he ripped it last time up to drive in 3.
Yeah, that was a nice one-hit hopper he hit off that left field wall to clear the bases early when they had him loaded.
And he fouls it back. Soft tapper back to the catcher, picks it up in fair territory, throws it onto first in time. Hernandez comes up firing, and McDonald is out.
Yeah, nice play by the catcher. You don't have a good angle right there to make that throw, and he had to pop out and get it in a hurry. Pitcher wouldn't been able to make that play.
Brings up Antonio Andujar.
I know Andujar was one of the guys that had a big opening weekend. We talked about him before the games last Thursday. I think he had 4 or 5 hits in that opening weekend that you broadcasted.
It was an impressive run at the plate for Andujar, and back-to-back balls that just – the first one goes behind him, the next one plunks him.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
And what did he do to upset Veers?
Right. I mean, the first one was well behind him, and the next one just gets him pretty square. But Andujar makes his way down to first, no problem. Andrew Ridgel, not a man you want to pitch to with runners on base. He tripled last time up. Pair of triples already in this game.
Yeah, that ball hit to right center. I really didn't think it was going to be trouble, but the center fielder just couldn't get there, and good job legging out a triple.
Five nothing is the score. Ridgel, big hack, 1-2 count. So a couple triples here for the Cardinals in this game.
Might be a spot where you try and steal a base, but Andujar probably is a guy that's not going to run a whole lot this year. Well, that's well hit right at the third baseman.
Good, Christian. Come on, that's it, guys. Come on. Let's bat around.
Well hit. Mason Patton's there. We're on Tradio. We'll be right back. Top of the fourth as we get the cue from Tim Polster to go ahead, and we are happy to be here at Wylie East. Raider Invitational, Cardinals and Yellow Jackets, Fort Worth Christian and Denison. That's the matchup today, and Fort Worth Christian leading 5-0. They score 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning and then 2 more in the bottom of the second inning. That's what it says up on the scoreboard right now. 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors on the side for Denison. So it's been a pretty impressive start for Greg Smeds so far. He has filled up the zone. Jeff, in 3 innings, just 1 hit, a pair of strikeouts. He has surrendered 2 walks here in his second start of the season, but he has filled up the zone for the most part today.
Yeah, while I was moving my truck, my Game Changer app plugged into my Bluetooth, and I got to hear one of those walks on my Bluetooth in the truck.
Softly dribbled, Emerson up firing. 6-3 down in the scorebook to start the fourth. You heard it. What do you mean? Like you physically, like they on the broadcast, like me?
The Game Changer will tie into your Bluetooth and give you a broadcast of the game.
But not like this broadcast.
Not our broadcast,
okay.
But the Game Changer broadcast.
Which is someone else on that call?
It's like AI. It's I'd never heard that before.
Wow.
Yeah.
They may be replacing us soon. That's what you're saying.
They've
got another broadcast
I'm glad
going.
it's a hobby for me.
Oh, man.
If it was a paid gig, I'd be sweating it.
Oh, well, I'm pretty drenched right now if that's the case.
Oh,
It's
wow,
lifted towards left center. It one hops off the wall. A well-struck ball by Jaden McClain. He's digging for third as well, and he gets there in time. The third triple we've seen today in this game, and the first for Denison as they have a runner 90 feet away from scoring.
I noticed Ridgel when he was trying to track that ball down, must have lost it in the sun because he actually – covered his head like he wasn't sure where the ball was, and he might be running into it. So I think the sun played a part right there, and it is to our back, which would have been right in his line of sight.
So that'll bring up Evan Doty.
But that's another ball I thought that carried better than I would have expected. I really didn't think that was going to be a problem off the bat.
Evan Doty?
Okay, yeah, that's how I would pronounce it.
You caught my drift. I was trying to see if you were with me on that. He walked his first time up, but he has a chance to drive in a run now.
Yeah, only 1 out, so we'll see if Smeds can pick up a strikeout here and freeze that runner at third.
Well, he's behind 3-0 in the count. He is about 44 pitches into his outing on my count. And make it ball 4.
Well, that looked like a good pitch, but must have missed in that way.
Brings up Dylan Wylie. He had a ground ball.
I think we're going to have a visit from the pitching coach here for the Cardinals.
Coach Hampton making his way out there. So Smeds and Hank Austin and Coach Hampton will have a conversation with runners on the corners and 1 out. Top of the fourth, 5-run lead, Jeff, in the first of a doubleheader. Dylan Wylie up to the plate. When he came up, that was the second inning, and he had a ball right at Grady Emerson, who stepped on second, threw it to first, and it retired the side on the double play. So situation here with runners on the corners and 1 out. Coach Hampton, what do you think he's saying to Mr. Greg Smeds?
Well, he's, I'm sure, saying let's give our defense a chance because that's now 3 walks through 3 innings. They have hit a couple balls okay, but the base runners that have been on base so far have mostly been by walks. And we know Coach Greer doesn't like the free passes.
Who does?
Yeah, I've yet to meet a coach that does.
but I know what you mean. Some emphasize it more than others. Foul back, Dylan Wylie now. But, I mean, nobody likes free passes. Nobody likes errors. Nobody likes strikeouts at the plate. But I catch what you're saying, and he really does. And he even said that in the pregame conversation. He said, I'm okay with the guys allowing hits. We can defend a hit. We can't defend a walk. And so he's just really focused on wanting guys to fill up the zone. And the most interesting thing, and this is now just our perception, not necessarily from the horse's mouth, but it feels like Greg Smeds is one of the guys that probably has the most ability to command the zone, just from a proven standpoint from what he did last year and now his second start. But you're right, he has had to work around some walks in this outing. We'll see if he can do it here.
Well, look at the last inning for the Cardinals at the plate. Ridgel hits a rocket right at that third baseman, and that's an out. So you're right. Give your defense a chance. It doesn't mean throw BP.
Two balls, two strikes, one out. Runners on the corners. Yellow Jackets with their first big threat of this one. And it's a ground ball pulled foul. Dylan Wylie, a senior, listed at 6 feet 175, trying to handle the bat. Also listed as a pitcher on their roster. As Smeds, the left-hander, works to the left-handed hitting right fielder. Left it up. Big full count pitch up coming here. I mean, Smeds is creeping above 50 pitches. I think he may be able to get another inning or so in there, or two. Trying to stretch him out. Slide step, lifted towards center field.
It's definitely going to be one run.
And James there to make the grab on the move. You're right, one run. It comes across the score in the form of Jaden McClain on the sacrifice fly to center. James going to the right center field gap. He had a great jump on that one.
Yeah, he went a long ways to get that ball. And, again, we've talked about how well the ball's carrying to right field especially. And that nice running catch out there by James.
Covered a lot of ground, got it in. The sacrifice fly, though, works. So the one-out triple in the form of Jaden McClain comes around to score. And Smeds misfires low and inside. Javi Hernandez hits with 2 outs, 1 on. The Yellow Jackets catcher, just the second game of the season for Denison. Meanwhile, Fort Worth Christian playing game number 8. At least according to what was on their Max Prep site, which if you were with us this morning, most of you probably weren't because different fan bases. We talked about how sometimes you don't get reliable information on that site. So, but from our perspective, we know it's for Fort Worth Christian, game number 8. Denison believe it's game number 2, and they were 0-1 when looking online at their schedule.
Okay, yeah. I saw the 8 games for Fort Worth Christian on Game Changer also, but I don't have any.
Yeah, this is game 8, I
think,
6-1.
Which is a lot of games this early in February.
Oh, yeah. 3 straight weeks of tournaments, and they'll get 4 more games in this weekend. 2 today, 1 tomorrow, 1 Saturday. It tests your pitching, and they've got a lot of pitching. Not in terms of, I mean, they have a lot of pitching, just options. I think that this is really good for a team that's trying to figure out kind of what they have in the pitching department. I mean, you got Smeds, and yes, he sure has had struggles with the walks today. A little uncharacteristic for the left-hander, but you have some other guys that are going to get some work. They have just a lot of different options, and I think a tournament when you're playing 4 or 5 games in a weekend for weeks in a row, that you'll find out really quick who's going to be able to perform. Throw the ball over the plate, and you'll have an opportunity to compete for this team.
Yeah, Coach Greer's going to make a change right here. But, no, that's another good point about what tournaments allow you to do is identify who's going to be your top 2 starters. So when you get into that district season, who's going to be your Tuesday starter, who's going to be your Friday starter. And I'm not sure in Fort Worth Christian what day their district games fall on, but I know for Grapevine they typically fall on Tuesdays and Fridays. So
Thursday, Friday, I think, for the Cardinals.
Okay.
A lot of the time.
So, well, that's even with a Tuesday, Friday schedule. Sometimes if your starter maybe doesn't throw a ton of pitches, you might ask him to come out and get a couple outs on Friday. But with a Thursday, Friday schedule, it's unlikely anyone that pitches on Thursday and throws more than about 30, 40 pitches, it's unlikely you'd bring him back and ask him to do anything on Friday. So that just defines the need for, I think, actually maybe even a few more guys that you really trust out there on the hill when you play back-to-back days like that.
So Jack Reese is the new arm into the game, Jeff.
Yeah, I didn't see him pitch last Thursday either.
Yeah, for Reese on the season so far, they've used a lot of different arms. Reese, he has had the opportunity this season to pitch one time. That came in the opening weekend against the Central Texas Crusaders. He went an inning and a third, faced 6 batters through 25 pitches, and ended up picking up the win in that effort. Had 2 strikeouts and 1 walk in an inning and a third of shutout ball, picking up the win against the Crusaders. That was back on February 6th. So didn't pitch last weekend, pitched opening weekend. And Jack Reese with an opportunity here, the junior right-hander coming out of the pen in relief of Greg Smeds, the senior. Lefty's night is done, but leaves with runners on first and second. And that's to Emerson, 6-4, side retired. Well, so that was pretty easy for Mr. Reese. He comes in, they strand runners on, but they do score 1 in the Yellow Jackets. It's a 4-run lead for the Cardinals here on Tradio. Jacob Ward will lead things off, bottom of the 4th inning.
You got a pitching change for the Yellow Jackets. Lucas Womack's on the hill now. He's a 5'10 senior. Comes with a fastball, misses down right there.
It's a gorgeous day, Jeff, isn't it?
Yeah, we keep saying we can't believe it's February. Just give me this weather year-round.
73 degrees, sunny in Wylie, Texas. A single for the freshman Jacob Ward. So The new arm out of the pen, Lucas Womack, will have to work with a runner aboard to begin this inning. Yeah, 73 degrees, sunny. You can't ask for much more the 19th day of February, and it's smooth sailing. I mean, some wind gusts earlier today, but really, I mean, clear sky, 73 degrees. It's gorgeous out here, I'm telling you.
Yeah, if I wasn't at the ballpark, I'd like to be on the golf course.
Oh, yes. The Jeff Knipper golf event. We did not talk about that earlier today, but I love hearing about that. As that is lifted up right side, giving a ride for it is Carney, and it one-hops the wall. Extra bases for Carney. Ward is being waved home. He'll score, and Carney into third. 3 triples today for the Cardinals, and they go ahead 6-1.
Won't see many games with 3 triples, and the Cardinals have put up 3 triples now in 4 innings, and that's that same spot out there in right center that has just been a free-for-all. A lot of balls falling out there, and again, the ball's been carrying that way well. So it's just a lot to ask the center fielder and right fielder to cover that big gap out there. And we found out between games this field is actually bigger than I thought. We learned that center field is 400.
Wow. It really doesn't look like it.
Yeah, one of the grapevine coaches stepped it off. There's not a – typically you get a number on the fence. We don't have any numbers to help us out, but Coach Washburn with the Mustangs stepped it off, said it's 400 straightaway center, 315 down the right field line.
Grady Emerson watches the first 2 outside the zone. So, Jeff, 7 hits today for the Cardinals. 4 of them have been extra base hits, and 3 of them have been triples. 1 from the man at the plate, Grady Emerson, 1 from Carney, 1 from Ridgel. 4 different Cardinals have extra base hits in this game because McDonald had that bases clearing double in the first inning. So Grady Emerson, he rips it. A 3-0 count doesn't matter. He's 2 for 2 today. Entered today with 7 hits in his last 8 at-bats. Now he has 9 hits in his last 10, and he extends the lead to 7-1. Unreal stuff. And a 3-0 swinging Grady Emerson aboard for a 3rd time today.
We didn't mention it, but the infielders were playing in right there, and that's a ball that if he's back, that second baseman, he's running.
Emerson slides in safely, adds second, another swiped bag, the 4th stolen base for Fort Worth Christian here in this game. As we get a replay.
Yeah, got in there fairly easy, but back to his hit, if the second baseman's playing back like he normally would, might actually have to play on that ball, but you bring the infielder in and it cuts the range tremendously.
The 8th stolen base for Grady Emerson this year. So he walked his first at-bat, then tripled, and then gets an RBI single. And he is 9 for his last 10, hitting 900. Is that good, Jeff?
He's putting up some mileage out there on the bases.
Oh, yes.
He's going again.
Off again. Emerson slides into third. He's there in time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a little tougher to steal third, but he got a huge jump right there off the pitcher.
I just think the game is supposed to be a little bit tougher for, you're not supposed to hit 700-800 on a season, but
yeah, he's really making it look easy right now.
On the year, he's hitting .578 with his 2 for 2 today and 900 over his last 10 ABs. It's Braylon James up now.
Well, I've seen him have 9 at-bats. He's got 8 hits. So in the games I've been to, he's hitting .888.
That's pretty good. He slides into third. James struck out.
Yeah, I think he thought that pitch was up right there. I could see his point.
Okay, let's see. He went 4 for 4, then 2 for 3, then 1 for 2.
Got Parkerson at the plate here. Still only 1 out, so the Cardinals looking to get another run.
And he watches it upstairs. Parkerson 0 for 2. Grounded through the left side. Emerson will come across to score. It's an 8-1 lead for Fort Worth Christian. Jake Parkerson with an RBI knock, and the scoring continues. Grady coming across to score once more. His 9th run scored of the year. Or 10th, check that. But he comes across now for a few more times, and Parkerson with a good piece. I was checking out the stats, Jeff, just to make sure I had those numbers correct. Hank Austin, though, at the plate.
Yeah, I don't think Hank's had a hit yet today. I'm sure he wants to change that.
0 for 2 with a pair of punch-outs in this game.
Had a good cut right there. He just fouled it back. Big gap here in left center. The left fielder's playing him kind of straight up, but the center fielder's got him shaded to right.
It's bounced. Yeah, this is the reliever in the game right now, Lucas Womack.
Kind of wonder if the center fielder is purposely shading to right, just because the Cardinals have hit several in the gap over there that they haven't been able to run down.
Call strike there. Hank Austin, slow start to the season. He's just 1 for his first 14. He'll try to square something up. The D2 commit. Up and in. He's been patient at the plate, though. Does have a couple runs driven in. He's been hit once. Full count. Runner off. Swing and a miss, but the extra base Jake Parkerson takes. Austin, though, swings through. He's down on strikes again, and it brings up Blaine McDonald. We get another look.
Cardinals are really starting to steal some bases, or not start, but continuing that. And I feel, just watching the catcher throw, that they had an opportunity to steal bases when they got a guy out there. The catcher Denison doesn't have the strongest arm.
So Blaine McDonald now, Jeff.
We've already seen him dent the wall once today.
He goes to expand the zone there. Yeah, wall denting. That's happened a few times. 3 balls off the wall today for Fort Worth Christian. I think 4, actually. He had the 3 triples and then the double there for McDonald. 9 hits on the day, 4 for extra bases. For Rusty Greer's powerful lineup, everybody's really contributed. Griffin Carney's 3 for 3. That scoots away. And Parkerson will get to third. But the first 2 hitters in Rusty Greer's order, got to be pleased because that's getting on base. Carney and Emerson a combined 5 for 5 with 5 runs scored and 3 RBI. So that's pretty much all your manufacturing of runs right there.
Yeah, Carney's having a big day. We talked about Emerson, but easy to overlook the fact Carney's 3 for 3.
With 2 stolen bases as well as 3 runs scored and a run driven in. So Carney, great game. Emerson as well has scored twice with 2 hits and 2 RBIs and a walk and has reached 3 times.
Wow, that's foul, but barreled that one up, foul.
But those would be our 2 candidates right now if we were going to go down that rabbit hole of player of the game. Could obviously always change, but this game certainly well in the control of Fort Worth Christian, and they've got a runner on third base. A chance to add on to the lead, and they'll do that right here. A single to center by Blaine McDonald. He joins Kearney and Emerson with a multi-hit effort. Those three Cardinals, the three with 2+ hits on the afternoon. And Blaine McDonald drives in a run. He may be entering that conversation now, Jeff, because Blaine McDonald has driven in 4.
Yeah, another good at-bat from him. Just kind of took what the pitcher gave him right there, and nice ball to the opposite field.
So that brings up Antonio Andujar, bottom of inning number 4, 2 down, 1 on. Blaine McDonald, 2 hits and 3 at-bats. He's driven in 4 runs. So a really nice day at the plate for McDonald. Andujar skies to center. Kincannon there. And the frame is over, but not before the Cardinals add on. Put up 4 more. They're up 9-1. We continue. We're back with you. It's Cardinal Baseball Live on Tradio. Jeff Knipper, Will Connerly, Trey Bell, Tim Polster, and our entire team here for Cardinal Baseball Live. Fort Worth Christian, man, this roster is really outstanding. You know, Jeff, I know as you prepare for another season of broadcasting, primarily with Grapevine, you research, right, and you look at the rankings, but to then see it come to fruition on the field, I mean, the rankings tell you one thing for the hype, but for the Cardinals to kind of live up to that billing as a team, I mean, 6-1 right now. They're ahead 9-1 in this game. They've had a great start to the year, and Reese will try to continue that out of the bullpen, but, man, it's been pretty impressive what Rusty Greer's team has done to begin the year.
Well, when I see their roster, Will, I'm not surprised at how well they've started the season because he's got a lot of talent. And you've mentioned they've got 5 or 6 kids going to play college ball next year, which at a small school like Fort Worth Christian is a big number. So to amass that much talent, they have to have their expectations high just like Grapevine does. I mean, we obviously know about Grady Emerson, but they've got talent down throughout that lineup, and we're not even seeing Castleberry today, right, who was their cleanup hitter until a week ago.
And he came over from Argyle with Grady.
Exactly, yeah. We saw him at Argyle, and he was a starter at Argyle, middle of the lineup over there, and we know Argyle's a perennial strong team. They've got several state championships on their wall.
So Grady, and then Castleberry got banged up last week with his hand, and I mentioned probably hope to see him soon. Another Division I bat in your order, heading to UT Arlington, staying close to home here in DFW. Another guy, again, came over from Argyle with Grady Emerson, and I've already seen what this offense can do. There's Griffin Carney atop the order. Emerson and Braylon James has found a way to come up with some big-time hits. Parkerson and McDonald is starting to swing it. Andujar's gotten hot. The interesting thing is, in the game of baseball, especially through the first couple of weeks, if you have a guy slump really hard, it's magnified. But the interesting thing is so many different guys have stepped up already that it gives you confidence that this lineup already starting to kind of find their mojo.
And defense that Coach Greer is going to require or demand out of his players. So if you only have to scratch for 3 or 4 runs to win most of your ball games, this lineup, even when the big guys are having a slow game, is going to produce that number.
Because they're not always going to be feeling it. That's such a great point. That's ball 4.
Grady Emerson's not going to go 8 for 9 in every 3-game stretch over the course of the season. But that's exactly what he's done in the 3 games I've seen so far.
Right, and I think I had it wrong. He was 9. I said 9 of 10. He's 9 of his last 11 at the plate in total over the last 4 games now.
Okay.
Which is still pretty good, right? 9 hits and 11 ABs.
Well, yeah. I mean, 9 for 21 is pretty good. Not pretty good, real good.
So he's hot, but yes, he is not. We could probably say with some confidence. We'd love to be wrong, but I don't think you're going to see a lot of 9 for 11 stretches. But again, he is the top player in the country, rated by many publications for a reason. So here is Max Ailman, runners first and second. But I love the point you bring up, because it isn't just one player. Like, at the end of the day, you see this in the major leagues. How many years did the Angels have the best player in the majors and not make the playoffs? So it's not a one-player sport, and this Fort Worth Christian team certainly has the headliner and the superstar, but they've got multiple guys at the plate who are very dangerous, and 6 guys going to play at the next level.
Yeah, there'll be some teams that are going to pitch around Emerson, but be careful when you do, because they've got some guys behind him that can do damage.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing. Braylon James hitting right behind him. He is going to hit with ducks on the pond this year.
Yeah. No, there's 6 or 7 guys on this squad that I'm sure are going to be over 300 batting average and have healthy OPSs.
So it's Max Ailman. Jack Reese on the hill, his second outing of the year. Came in relief of the starter, Greg Smeds. We'll give you the final line here on Smeds. Went 3 2/3, allowed 1 earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 2 hits. So not a shabby outing, 3 2/3 and 1 earned, and worked around 4 walks.
Yeah, Denison's trying to get back in the ball game here. They got first and second, nobody out. Reese trying to work out of this jam.
Got into the jam himself with command issues and in jeopardy of walking the bases loaded. He walked Doty, who's now on first, and then he walked Christian Veers. He walked Doty, who went to second. Veers now at first, and Reese trying to avoid walking the bases loaded, and I think he got a little help right there from Max Ailman.
I was thinking the same thing. I think that was ball 4, but hard to fault a guy up there with 2 strikes, being aggressive, making sure he doesn't get rung up looking.
So 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in the fourth, a 9-1 lead.
Yeah, there's ball 4 right there to load the bases. So I'm sure this is one thing that Coach Greer is not happy about is the base on balls so far, but not much else about the Cardinals today not to like.
So the interesting things here, hour 45 is the rules in this tournament. We started the game around 12:35 maybe or so, a little bit after 12:30. So you consider that, and then if you're up by 8 after 5, is that the rule in this tournament? I believe it is. Could be wrong. Could be 10.
It's typically 10 after 5,
sometimes
but unless there's a tournament,
rules,
it could be different. But quite honestly, the pace we're on right now, this could be the last at bat just because of time restrictions. If we started at 12:35 and we're only playing an hour 45, we're already an hour and a half in, and right now there's no outs.
Right. Certainly.
Sure, Reese would like to change that in a hurry.
So Reese comes set. I know in the private school classic last week when we were looking at some of the rules, it was 8 after 5, 10 after 4, 15 after 3 for the rules on the games you did. But
okay,
and I came in as well the following day. But that's the thing with the tournaments. Sometimes they kind of have their own rules because it's not sanctioned district play where it's all everybody understands, because you've got some private schools, you've got some UIL, you've got some TAPS all in this little classic invitational, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, tournaments are unique because you got to try and stay on schedule. You don't want that last game starting at midnight if you try and play everything out. That's why you have ties in tournament games. You'll see ties on a team's into the season record and wonder how that happened. Well, that's a tournament where you don't always play out a tie.
And so Reese, he'll try to work out of it. Base is juiced. And he's struggling to find the zone. Walks in a run. It's now 9-2.
Yeah, I think we're going to see another pitch and change. That he's done all the damage to himself right here, and he just kind of lost a feel for the zone.
So 4 straight walks is the end of the line for Reese. A new arm set to check into the game, and we'll see who it is coming out of the bullpen.
Plate number 14.
Ben Rodriguez. The side winder. You saw him pitch.
Yeah. Trey gave me some insight on him before he even threw a pitch, and said he was a sidewinder and kind of more of a submarine guy.
Right.
I mean, really below the belt. Reminds me of the old guys from the 70s, Dan Quisenberry and Kent Tekulve. You're too young to remember those guys, Will.
Heard of them, though. Can't remember, you're right. I wasn't alive is what you're going at.
Yeah, you weren't even a thought in your parents' head yet.
Well, who knows. But, yeah, you got Benjamin out on the hill. Ben Rodriguez. This is his 4th appearance, and he has been good. In his previous 3 appearances, he's totaled 2 innings. He's got 2 wins across his 3 outings. But Rusty Greer calling on the submarine right-hander Ben Rodriguez. He's making his 4th appearance. Threw a third of an inning against Bishop Lynch, and then later that weekend threw 2/3 of an inning. And then against Cornerstone, the game you called, he went an inning and picked up the win in that one. 2-0 on the year, and across his 3 appearances, he's yet to surrender a run. So no runs allowed in 2 innings of work with 2 wins and 3 appearances. We'll see what he can do. Tough situation because he's come in on the heels of 4 consecutive walks.
I know you were a pitcher. Were you a starter or a reliever?
In high school, started quite a bit. I was on developmental early on in college. I did some starting, but mainly came out of the pen. So did a little bit of both throughout my mediocre career as a baseball player.
As a reliever, I was just wondering if you had picked up some vulture wins like Rodriguez has. That's what they tend to call those type of wins.
Oh, I've definitely gotten those. Oh, yeah, 100%. You come in, I had an outing where I came in and let up a home run, but got the win. I think I allowed 3 runs, but somehow I got the win because you come in and then you're the pitcher of record when your team takes the lead. I think I came in and surrendered a three-run shot, I believe.
It's going to be an out. Let's see if they tag here from third.
Here's James. No play at the plate. So 2 shallow, no tag. And, well, that's one way to come in after 4 straight walks.
And that's kind of what we've seen all day, that reliever that comes in tends to get an out on the first pitch. We saw Reese do that to close out an inning earlier. Now we see Rodriguez do that. We saw that in the Grapevine game, but probably a good decision not to tag there, especially down 7 runs. That's a spot where you really can't afford to run into an out. 1 run in a 7-run deficit doesn't mean a whole lot.
So Rodriguez comes in, fills it up. Vulture wins. So Ben Rodriguez has a couple of those under his belt, I guess, because he got the win against Cornerstone, and then he got the win against Bishop Lynch, and he only threw 3 pitches.
Nice.
Got it 1 out. Came in, struck out the side. The game was tied. Then they walked it off in the next half inning. He got the victory. That's grounded up the middle. Could it be 2? To Emerson from Kearney. They get the out at second. Coming across to score is Christian Veers. So that makes the score 9-3, but now there's 2 outs. So Ben Rodriguez has come in and retired the first 2 here out of the pen.
That was a nice play right there by Kearney. I thought that ball might get out to center field, but he made a really nice play there to get that force at second.
So that brings up Dylan Wylie. He had a sacrifice. His last time up. Skies.
It's going to be tough to get to. No, it's not going to get there.
Drops in front of James. 1 run comes across to score. It's Max Ailman. It's 9-4. Javi Hernandez now up, but good piece. And the line continues 3 across. And so the first 4 batters of this inning walked. 3 of them have come across to score.
Every time I think we might be headed to an early finish with a run total, the team on the wrong side of the scoreboard erupts. That happened in the game earlier.
So Rodriguez. Swing and a miss. Javi Hernandez.
Good pitch right there from Rodriguez. Nice fastball down at the knees, and I think it actually surprised the hitter a little bit, the velocity. It's been showing a lot of more off-speed stuff.
That's through the right side. They'll wave a run home. Play coming at the plate, and unable to get there in time. Evan Doty slides in. This game's actually getting interesting now. 9-5 the score, 4 across in this inning. And you've at least got something interesting happening with the tying run on deck. So a situation where do you deploy another arm? I think Ben Rodriguez has looked good, and he'll probably stay out there. He came in a tough spot, inheriting the bases loaded with nobody out. But you've now got the tying run on deck, at least, Jeff Knipper.
Yeah, they probably have activity down there in the pen, but that wasn't a terrible pitch. The hitter just found a hole on that right side.
Right. Just squeeze it through.
But yeah, 9-5 looks a lot different than it did starting the inning at 9-1.
So Jeff, you play a lot of baseball in the middle of the week where you got to miss class. I don't remember getting to do that too often.
Not in high school. If we left early, we might miss, sixth period at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but we didn't take off for tournaments and play 10 o'clock games that I remember in high school. Now, college is a different story with the travel. Yeah, we missed plenty of class in college, but not at the high school level. These high school baseball looks a lot different than it did back in the 80s.
A lot of class missed on those road trips in college, but it's all online now.
But was it really missed?
Right.
I didn't miss it at all.
You didn't miss it, no.
Now that's a line from the movie The Office. They asked the guy, we see you've been missing work a lot lately, and he says, well, no, I really haven't missed it at all.
Well, Cannon misfires there. Check swing. Yeah, they're not missing class, that's for sure. But they are missing it. That's great.
Wow, now time run comes to the plate.
Exactly right, and it comes in the form of the 9th hitter in the order, who is the 10th different Yellow Jacket to come up to the plate in this inning, and Dax Doty. So the tying run has come up to the plate. This game, once upon a time, was a 9-1 score. We get the tying run at the dish now. And it's lifted towards center. Giving some chase is James, and he makes the grab. The Yellow Jackets strand the bases loaded, but they score 4. 9-5 is what we've got now. And we continue on Tradio. First pitch swinging, driven toward left field, giving it a great ride, and it's off the wall. Andrew Ridgel with another extra base hit after a triple in the second. He doubles to begin the bottom of the fifth.
He's swinging the bat well today because one of his outs was a rocket to the third baseman. And I was trying to get a name on this pitcher, but their roster only goes through number 20, and the pitcher's number 25. But we do have a pitching change.
I'm with you. Don't have this name, but I'm going to track it down.
Got a decent fastball.
Yeah, that's pretty firm, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit quicker than the last guy they had on the mound. This could be a kid that's probably on their JV roster, but sometimes in these tournaments, all the arms come out for the varsity team. Curveball that hangs up right there.
Yeah, number 25, nobody on their roster, even the lineup that they submitted pregame, there is no number 25.
See if I can get us a name off Game Changer.
No, there's no 25 on the roster online or the roster that was given to us before the game that listed the subs. So, not really sure here.
Yeah, Game Changer doesn't have a name either.
That's ripped towards the left side. Jacob Ward got a hold of it. It'll drive in Andrew Ridgel, and the lead back up to 5 for Fort Worth Christian.
Yeah, nice swing right there from the freshman. Really did a good job getting that barrel out. Bring another hot hitter to the plate in Kearney.
He's had a day, hasn't he? Been aboard 3 times, 3 for 3. Jacob Ward, though, the 9 spot, he's been aboard 3 times, 2 for 2, also with a walk. And it's now Kearney, 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored and a run driven in, along with a triple and a couple of stolen bases. So a day for Mr. Kearney so far. And he can add to it here.
Yeah, the pitcher right now for Denison's having trouble locating that curveball. And when he's brought a fastball in, the Cardinals have turned it around in a hurry. I think Kearney was taken right there 3-0, but he won't be taken here.
He does.
I don't think he liked the call. He was halfway to first base.
So Griffin Kearney and the fans, they've been blowing up my phone, Jeff, and your phone. If you go on the YouTube chat, they're calling for you to stay with us for the next game. So we really hope that you can fulfill their request and take in some more Cardinals baseball.
You know, I'm going to save myself for tomorrow. I'm about twice as old as you. I don't have the endurance you do. But I sure enjoy watching this team play. They got a lot of talent, and I like the way they play. I mean, Coach Greer talked about that in his interview. They play hard. They play aggressive, and that's the kind of baseball that I was taught. It's I don't want to say it's old school because surely the young coaches would like to teach the same thing, but it's kind of the South Alabama way. You know, you hustle everywhere. You're always looking to take an extra bag, and I mean, didn't have any speed to speak of, but you know, you better be busting it even between innings, you know, in and out of the dugout, get to your position, don't walk. So I really like Coach Greer's philosophy for his team, and it's clear the players have eaten it up.
And with all that being said, we'll see you tomorrow after the conclusion of this one. It's Grady Emerson hitting with runners on first and second, another 3-0 count. He is 9 for his last 11 at the plate. 2 for 2 today, 3-0 green light. He fouls it back. So 9 for his last 11 with the 2 for 2 today. He's walked, tripled, and singled in this game so far. We'll see what he can do with runners on first and second, nobody down. 12 hits and 10 runs for the Cardinals.
Oh, that's out of here.
Oh, my goodness. It's a no-doubt shot for Grady Emerson. 10 hits in his last 13 at-bats in his first long ball of the year. A 13-5 advantage, and Grady Emerson, a tape measure blast well over the right field wall.
That's about the only thing we hadn't seen from him yet was a home run, and boy, he put on a show right there. He hit that ball a mile.
Emerson uncorks it well over the scoreboard out in right field. And my goodness, you said it was a 3-0 green light. It was. And then on 3-1, here's another look. Whew.
Yeah. No reason to get out of the box in a hurry there because that one's not coming back.
First shot we have seen for Grady Emerson. He's now 3 for 3 today with 5 RBIs and 3 runs scored.
Someone may want to run that ball down and get him to sign it after the games because it could be worth something someday.
A big-time shot for the top prospect in the country. And he looks every bit of it. He really connected on one, and that's what we've seen. We've seen a lot of friendly counts, 3-0, 3-1, and there's been uncompetitive pitches his way through the first 7 games. But I figured we're going to get someone 3-0, nobody on, let's serve something up. No, it was 3-1, and he got served up an upper heater with 2 on and gives you a 3-run shot. So he certainly let that one eat, and he's now got his day going really well, hitting about now 600 on the year.
Well, unless I'm forgetting about an at-bat, I think that's 9 for 10 in the games I've seen him play.
Yep, 9 for 10 in Knipper games, and he is 10 for his last 12, I believe, at the plate.
Crazy numbers. I mean, you can stick a coach out there throwing batting practice and put a defense out there, and it'd be hard to do that, much less, when you got a guy trying to get you out on the mound.
Yeah, that was crushed. I mean, it was kind of hard to see because there's not much behind the wall, like how far it actually went, but it definitely went in the category of a no-doubter. Right?
Oh.
I mean, Jeff, you were all over it right off the bat.
I mean, we saw one in the game earlier, and that was a shot too, but Grady's ball was at least 30, 40 feet beyond that. That was a moon shot.
I mean, that's one of those you kind of want to get the, I know we talked about the radar gun last game.
Well,
when you mention tape measure blast, you're curious the metrics and the hit tracks and the stat casts. Obviously, we don't have that, but you're just curious sometimes. You always are watching baseball at the highest level where we expect him to play one day. You wonder, how far did that ball really go? And so
I'm sure it was every bit of 380, 390. I mean, he hit it kind of not right center, but closer to right center than the line, and it cleared the fence every bit of 40, 50 feet.
That is the thing, too, at certain fields. I mean, when it is, which this yard is, 400 to center, like you mentioned, that ball lifted. Going back on is the center fielder, King Cannon. He's under it, having to retreat. Back is James.
Yeah, I was fooled by the field size. It's hard to tell because there's really no background out there, and so I just thought it was a little bit smaller than it actually is. And again, I'm relying on a coach that walked it off before their game, and I know why they would do that. They probably walked it off to see, hey, where should we play our outfield? Okay, if you know the fence is 400 and you would normally play, 30, 40 feet in front of the fence, then that tells you where to position your outfielder. So I don't think they were just curious, hey, how big is this field? There was a reason they did that, and you don't have the numbers on the fence here like you normally would.
That was a big shot. We talked about it pretty much the entire AB of Braylon James, who walked on 4 pitches. He stands at first, and then a fly out up by Parkerson. It's Hank Austin at the plate. Think, Jeff, so it's an 8-run advantage, but it didn't end the game, right? I thought it would be 8 after 5, perhaps, but maybe you're right about 10. Well, there you go. It's time.
Yeah, we hit the time limit again.
All right.
Yeah.
So a 13-5 final. We've hit our time limit, and we will have another game coming up. It was scheduled to be at 2:30, but it's past 2:30 now. So we'll see when that one starts, probably in about 30 minutes. But we'll say so long, Trey Bell, Tim Polster, and Jeff Knipper. It was a pleasure working with you for a pair of games.
I'll see you
badly
tomorrow.
want to see you for this next one, but I know you've got a real job. So
yeah,
I understand it. Well, we'll see you guys. 13-5, the final. Fort Worth Christian moves to 7-1.
We only play to win. That's on everything. We climbing to the top. Turn it up a notch. This is our house. Hey, get that W. What? Get that W.